What's up, and welcome, guys, to One Oak Mentoring, the number one virtual team mentoring program, company, service, entity, franchise, business of all times. How y'all guys doing out there today, man? Hope y'all having a perfect day because I am. Today I'm gonna be talking about an outing that we took the guys fishing. So without further ado, let's get it started, right? So, let's see, Friday. Okay, well, I knew before Friday, but they let me know the guys will be fishing. And so I signed up for it, because it's been a while since I've been fishing with the guys, right? So I'm like, okay, let me sign up for this shift. So the day before, which was Friday, I had a couple people that worked there. I think one of the maintenance guys, and I think it was actually like another lady that worked there. They're like, hey, Sean, make sure you remember to bring the sunscreen and the blankets, right? So the kids will have something to sit on so they won't get sunburned, right? So the first thing that popped in my mind was, hey, I gotta definitely make sure I bring me a chair because I'm not saying I can't, but yeah, I'd rather just be sitting in a chair instead of just on the ground. Like, I need back support, right? I'm up in age now, right? So I need that full back support. But okay, so they told me what the materials were. So, I put them in the bus or the van, whatever you want to call it, right? So I put it there. And so like that whole day, like the kids just saying, hey, are you going with us? You ready? You ready to go? You ready for this outing? So I'm like, yeah, I love outings, man. Like that's, it's a very special thing to me, man, just to be able to get paid to do that type of stuff, right? But it's always a little confusion up where I work. We didn't know if the guys were going to if we had to bring fishing rods or if they were going to provide the rods for them. Eventually I figured out, they would provide the rods for them, right? So, okay, cool. So, Saturday morning, I get there 10, 15 minutes ahead of time. I'm always on time. I'm a very dependable worker. I'm just joking. Well, I am a very dependable worker, but I maybe got there maybe like 5 minutes late, man. That's actually early for me, right? So I get there, the kids are all excited. And I see some of the kids, like, they got on these white shoes, these real nice shoes, man, expensive, like $175, $200 shoes. And I'm like, are you guys aware of where we going and what we're going to be doing? They was like, yeah, we going fishing, man. Me, myself, I had on like some old Timberland boots, like really high. That was like dirty, because we're going to be in the grass. So a couple of the kids like second guessed themselves and they went, and they changed their shoes, right? So before we did that, I let some of the guys, I gave them the option, because I'm such a great staff. I gave them the option to actually go and pick out their chair. They can, well, not pick out their chair, but, bring a chair, But most of them got chairs because, they want that back support too. And, but, some of them just said, I don't mind sitting on the ground, not me, right? So we get the kids loaded up. The sunscreen and the towels were already in there, but I decided to bring us some Gatorade, just like a snack or something, because I didn't know what the whole situation was there, but I did hear they were going to be providing a meal. Not sure what or where, that's kind of how these outings go. They're kind of like spontaneous. Not really spontaneous, like, well, yeah, I guess you could say spontaneous. That's a good word to throw in there. So, okay, yeah, so I don't know what they're going to be eating, but I know they're going to provide it, right? So we load up, we got the snacks, we do pre-outing report. I'll make I'll make a video about what pre-outing report is actually. But yeah, so we're riding, man, we listen to the radio, we just vibing. Real good, smooth day. This was in town actually, so it wasn't a real long drive, right? So, okay, so I've never been to this place. I never even knew this place existed, right? So we're riding, and the GPS is like, make this left. Now, before we got here, I GPSed it and like got a view of like the area. And I thought this was going to be a private pond because we have fished before and it was a private pond, right? But this has been, goodness gracious, like 7 years ago or something like that, man. Back when I was a young G, right? So I'm thinking it's going to be a private pond. So we pull down the road and we keep riding and the GPS is like 300 feet until blah, blah, blah. And so it just like opens up into this like big circle with like this, I guess you can call it a pond, and it's like a neighborhood, man. Really, really beautiful, man. Hopefully you guys can like see it, see what's going on like through like the videos, right? So we get there and I'm like, okay, all right, it looks real nice out here. And there's actually other people out there, so it's definitely nowhere near a private pond. It's public, right? It's available to the public. So we get there, we're taking our chairs out, you know, we go meet the guy. I can't remember his name, it's been a while. You know, shook his hand, you know how that goes. How you doing, brother? Thank you for having us out here, you know. And so one of the kids was like, hey, I need to use the restroom. So I'm like, hey, brother, where's your restroom at? And he was like, unfortunately. Now whenever somebody starts a sentence like that, man, I'm just like, oh my goodness. He's like, unfortunately, we don't have a restroom here, but if you drive down the road about a mile, there's a Spinks gas station. I'm like, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? So I'm like, hey guys, I need y'all, even if you don't necessarily need to use the restroom, we're about to take this trip back a mile. I thought it was a mile, but it ended up being a mile and a half back the other way, you know, so you guys can use the restroom, right? So I'm saying, yeah, it's probably best that you try, even if you don't got to. So we all loaded back. It was me and two other staff, two female staff, right? So we all loaded into the bus and we drove back, right? Now, when you're working in the group home, you got to be able to supervise these kids, right? Like, especially when they're out in the community. So what had to happen is when I'm like, I think I took like through 2 or 3 guys in at a time in the store. Now we got about, I can't remember how many guys we had. Maybe like 15. Maybe not that many. Maybe like 13, 14, something like that. I'm not sure. But yeah, we had like 14 because it's a 17 passenger van and 3 staff. So yeah, 14. So so I'm having to cycle them in. So the 2 female staff are on the bus. I'm in the store, like, you know, having to stand outside the bathroom while they use the restrooms, right? And, you know, this is like taking a while, man. I'm talking about a while. So we had this one resident. He went in the restroom and like, you know, he was in there for like 5 minutes. So I knock on the door like, hey man, are you all right? Didn't hear anything. I knock again, hey man, are you all right? Still didn't hear anything. So now I'm getting frustrated. So now I'm not gonna say I beat on the door, but I had to knock harder so he can hear me. Still heard nothing, right? So now I'm having to call people, you know, the higher ups to see what they want me to do. And then eventually he comes out. And I'm like, did you not hear me calling your name? He was like, I said what? I kept saying what? So, you know, that kind of frustrated me a little bit. But I was like, okay, man. You know, I kept my cool and my composure because I'm such a composed, I'm a composed, experienced, I'm a veteran staff, right? We'll use that. So we finally get done. This is like 35, 40 minutes. Like I'm not kidding you. Right? So we all load back into the bus, and then we ride back. So we finally get there, and then there's even more people out there, right? And so they got a table set up with like fishing rods, like all this stuff, like all this equipment, right? And so like the leader of the group, he actually brought us to the side. So he brought our group and like some more people and kind of explained the process of what goes on there. They're a nonprofit that, you know, like has these little sessions where people can come and fish. I think it's a beautiful thing, right? So so he's telling the kids, you know, he's telling them how to, they got bait for them. They got all type of bait. They got worms. They got crickets. They even got some of the fake jelly worm type things. I don't know. I'm not an expert fisher, man. So, but they got all this for these kids, right? And he's explaining, you know, when you catch the fish, you know, you got to throw them back. He's, you know, telling the way you got to take the hook out of the mouth and throw them back. You know, it was a real brief, but it was pretty thorough for the amount of time that he actually spent out there talking about it, right? So, he's telling them how to hook and bait. Like, it was like a lot more to it than I remember, right? So I'm like, wow, you know, there's certain ways you got to put the bait on, certain ways you take the hook out. So I'm just like, you know what? I think I'm gonna chill, man, because I don't want to kill any fish today. I got a clear conscience right now, man. I don't need any murders on my conscience, man. So I'm like, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna fish, because I'm thinking I might take the hook out wrong, kill the fish, and like, you know, I don't want to do that to those people, man, to those nice fish. So the guys were really excited. Some of them, we really couldn't spread all the way around because we only had 3 staff. which I thought it was best to just keep us in like one big area so we can just still see and supervise them. Now we don't have to be over the guy's shoulder like spying on them like we're, you know, spies or anything like that, but we basically just have to be able to see them interacting, you know, make sure they're not doing anything they're not supposed to. But these guys, they really loved it. This one guy, he caught a fish within the first like 5 minutes. He was like, hey, I caught one. So I'm like, okay, cool, man. We had one kid, he caught one and he came and showed me. It should be on the video. You know, those are the type of fish that they have. I think they put fish into the pond for them. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of what we did out there, right? So I actually walked around or drove around to the other side. There was like this, I don't know what you call it. Is it a peninsula? Like, you know, it was like land that went out into the pond that you can walk on. Yeah, it's like a peninsula or something like that, right? So I walked out into it, and I mean, it wasn't as, it was more, it was lackluster. It looked better from like the view that I was at, right? So you know, so I just, you know, I was just admiring how beautiful the place was, right? And, you know, kids are still catching fish. Some of them caught like turtles and all kind of stuff like that, right? But these guys are really, they really enjoyed it. And some of them was like really into it. Some of them knew all kind of tricks. I seen one kid putting a stick in the ground, you know, for some reason. I had no clue about any of that, right? So, you know, man, these guys, they really look like they just had a really good time, man. Some knew what they were doing. Some of them, they've been fishing all their life. Some of them, they haven't been fishing at all before in their lives, man. So, you know, that's what I say about this job. It just, you know, exposes you to certain things that you wouldn't in your normal life, you know, for the residents and the staff as well, right? So that was just a beautiful thing. So we fished for about, I want to say maybe close to like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Maybe an hour and a half, because we got back there at 10:30. So 12, they had food for these guys. Man, they had a lot of good food for them. Had sodas, drinks, chips, you know, and they had some very, very wonderful, great Chick-fil-A. Man, I was like jackpot when they had that. So we all had like 10 Chick-fil-A nuggets a piece, and we can get like a half of a wrap or a half of a sandwich, right? So I got like a half of a wrap and a half of a sandwich and 10 Chick-fil-A nuggets. Whoa, man, talk about great job. Oh my goodness, man, heaven, right? Heaven. But yeah, the kids, they enjoyed it, man. They had little packs, I guess little gift packs that they gave to the kids, you know, so they can bring back. But some of them had hooks in it, right? And so the place I work, you really can't have hooks, anything sharp that can be used as a weapon. So we had to take those and put them up and let them be distributed by their human service provider. I'll make a video about what those are. And they actually gave them the fishing rods, man. So that was a real good thing, which they actually had to take those and put those away as well, man. So overall, man, it was a great, wonderful day, man. Great, wonderful outing. Yeah, I'm gonna be telling y'all about a lot more of these outings, man. Yeah, you guys just stay tuned. This is One Oak, and I am out. Y'all have a great day.